Back when Andrew Jackson was president, many things were different. He was very strong in his opinions. At first, Jackson didn't win the election, but he did later. Once he did win, all of the national Republicans, like me, also known as the Whigs, were upset. Jackson didn't care about what we thought. He only cared about what his fellow Democrats wanted. But I have to admit, Andrew Jackson was hard to beat. Jackson seemed to be so popular. I couldn't understand why. We knew that if Jackson was elected, he would become a dictator, like Napoleon Bonaparte, because he was a general. Democrats still just brought up the supposed unfair bargain from when Adams became president. Nothing of it was unfair, though. Still, Jackson won by a landslide. Just our luck. Andrew Jackson was easily doing what was best for his supporters. He replaced many who were very good at their jobs in the national government with Democrats who have had no experience. Jackson also hardly ever met with his cabinet, and met with the kitchen cabinet instead. There were many issues that Jackson carried out his way, not the way of the people. The National Bank was one of these issues. Andrew Jackson was very against the National Bank. When the bank was renewing its charter, Jackson decided to veto the renewal. This was very harsh and terrible. The fall of the bank led to the Panic of 1837. This panic was for our country. The fall of the National Bank caused our country to go bankrupt for a while. Our president at the time of the Panic of 1837 was Martin Van Buren. He was another Democrat, of course. As the panic continued, Van Buren did little to try to help. He said that the panic was made of private pursuits, and that the more the government would stay out of it, the better. No Democrat really wanted to help this country. Now, another thing Jackson caused was the Indian Removal Act. This led to the Trail of Tears. So many Indians were just helpless. How could someone who we were supposed to trust and who was supposed to help us be so cruel? I knew I could not trust someone like that. The Cherokees didn't harm us. They were just minding their business when, at Jackson's orders, soldiers came in and dragged them out of their homes. The only homes they knew, and they could never come back. It was freezing, and they had no blankets, fire, nothing. No, at this time I just couldn't stand having this man being my president. We knew it from the very beginning that he would become dictator-like. After Martin Van Buren was finally out of office, William Henry Harrison could take over as president. His symbol was the log cabin. We Whigs knew that many people grew up in log cabins and could relate. We had many ways to make him seem so relatable to the people, and he was. Democrats would try to move the log cabins, which represented Harrison, the man of the people, but they couldn't get it to budge. Harrison won the election easily. Finally, we have a victory after 12 years. Although we had a victory, it ended fast when Harrison died of pneumonia. His vice president, John Tyler, took over and went over to the side of the Democrats. Now he's hated by everyone. Now, I admit that some things that Andrew Jackson did do some good while in his presidency. But in the end, I'm just glad that Old Hickory Jackson is out of office and the Whigs can get their own candidates in office. Our victory will eventually be more than short-lived.